Okay, group, we are on number 9, page 23. Split the middle here. When we don't have a number in front of x squared, oh, it's the best, right? It's the best. So we don't have to worry about doing our traditional split the middle. We just need to find two numbers that multiply to that last number of negative 44 and add to 7. Since we have a negative, we know we're going to have a negative and a positive for our two numbers that we're picking out here. So to multiply to 44, we know that we can do 11 and 4. Will 11 and 4 get us to 7? Let's see. So we would have to make the 4 negative. So 11 minus 4, that is 7, which works out really, really nice. So we're going to split our 7x into 11x minus 4x. Our last two numbers will stay the same, so bring down that negative 44, bring down that x squared. Okay, then we can do our grouping. So here, to pull out a GCF, it would be x for that first set. So we're left with x plus 11. For the second set, we're going to divide out a negative 4, factor out a negative 4. So we'd be left with x plus 11 there as well. Keep in mind, you always want those parentheses to be the same. If they're not, go back because something happened and something's wrong. If they are, you can proceed. So x plus 11 and x minus 4 are our two answers. Okay, number 10, again, we don't have 1 in front. There's no GCF here other than 1. So we want two numbers that multiply to 6 and add to negative 5. Since we have a negative here, we know that these two numbers over here are going to be double negatives, two negatives. So if we do 1 and 6, negative 1 and negative 6 would be negative 7, so that's not negative 5. Negative 2 and negative 3, there it is. That gets us negative 5. So we're going to split our middle terms into negative 2x minus 3x. We'll bring down our x squared that was originally there and our positive 6. And then we can group. So here we would pull out an x from both terms, and we're left with x minus 2. Here we'll pull out a negative 3. And that leaves us with x minus 2 there as well. Parentheses are the same. So that's the first part of our answer. The second part of our answer is x minus 3, which is the GCF. Okay, 11 and 12. We don't have a GCF here, but we do have a number in front of our x squared term. So we're going to multiply that with the last number, which is 12. 12 times 1 is 12. So we want to multiply to 12 and add to negative 7. Since we're adding to negative 7, we're going to want two negative numbers. So 4 and 3, that would be an option. 2 and 6, 1 and 12. So if we make them all negative, you want to find the set that becomes negative 7 when they're added together, and that's going to be our negative 4 and our negative 3. So our negative 7c became negative 4c minus 3c. Drop down that plus 1. Drop down that 12c squared, and now we can group. We're going to pull out our GCFs here. So 4c would be our GCF for our first set. So we'd be left with 3c minus 1. Okay, here we want to divide out a negative 1 because we know that we want 3c minus 1, and that would get us 3c minus 1 if we factored out a negative 1. Our parentheses are the same. And our GCFs will make our last part of our answer, which is 4c minus 1. Okay, number 12. So for this one, 6, 3, and 9 definitely have a GCF of 3. So we're going to go ahead and factor that out. So we'd be left with 2x squared minus 1x, or just minus x, minus 3. Okay, so I want you to ignore these guys, and we're going to do split the middle with that inside trinomial. So 2 times 3 is negative 6. So we want to multiply to negative 6 and add to negative 1. So 6 and 1, if we want negative, right, negative, positive, 6 and 1, 2 and 3. 2 and 3 is probably going to get us close. So if we did negative 2 plus 3, that would be a positive 1. So let's change it to a negative 3 and a positive 2. That will get us negative 1. So don't worry about this 3 on the outside. We'll come back to that. Okay, split your middle terms. Negative 3x plus 2x would get us a negative 1x. Drop down your negative 3. Drop down your 2x squared. Again, this 3 will take care of it at the end. If you want to remind yourself, draw an arrow. Okay, start our grouping method here. Our first GCF is x. So we'd be left with 2x minus 3. Here it's just going to be 1 because there's nothing else that we can pull out of our 2x minus 3. Check to make sure that those parentheses are the same, and they are. So you have 2x minus 3, and then your GCFs of x and 1 make that second part of your answer. Don't forget that 3, bring it down, put it in front for your final answer.